Hello, Dinara.
Hi, James.
Excellent. Welcome back, everybody. Now today what we're looking at is the question, how long have you been?
Mhm.
So we're going to be looking at present, so present perfect in particular, but some other, but also having a little bit of a look at the present perfect continuous. But the focus is on how long have you been is what we're focusing on today.
And which unit is it?
It's Unit 11.
Mhm.
So if we look at this example situation, Dan and Kate are married. They got married exactly 20 years ago. So today is their 20th wedding anniversary. They have been married for 20 years. We say they are married, and you'll notice that's the present simple.
Mhm.
Okay? But how long have they been married? Not how long are they married?
Mhm.
And then you would say they have been married for 20 years. So you see here we go straight back to the present perfect. Remember, it's the tense that can connect the past with the present.
Mhm.
So just remember that. So we use the present perfect to talk about something that began in the past and still continues now. Always remember that. So compare the present and present perfect. Paul is in hospital. He's been in hospital since Monday. So what you're doing there is you're describing the state now. He's in hospital. But when you express when it started and he's still there, you go to the present perfect.
Mhm.
He's been in hospital since Monday. So next one, we know each other very well. You're describing the state now. You're describing a state now. We know each other well. But we've known each other for a long time. So we know each other for a long time is wrong. It's we've known each other for a long time. So when you express the duration, you're saying that the starting point is in the past, but it continues to the present.
Mhm.
Do they have a car? That's a question asking about, a state of being. How long have they had their car? How long have they had their car? So there you're asking how long and when did it start? So that's in the past. Starts in the past, continues to the present.
Mhm.
She's waiting for somebody, but she hasn't been waiting very long. So you see, present continuous, she's waiting for somebody. That describes an action happening now.
Mhm.
She hasn't been waiting very long because the starting point is still in the past. So this is the difference.
So when we were comparing present simple and present perfect, those examples, they were with been, with to be, with verb to be, and it is stative.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
Mhm.
So in
this
that
is very-
case, stative, there is a way of using the verb to be in a non-stative way. Like, for example, stop it, you're being mean, or you're being nasty, or you're being unpleasant, or you're being really kind to why. So as in that, because that is an action. So how you seem or how you're presenting. So that's talking about behavior, not state.
Mhm.
So there it can be an action. So, but be usually just describes a state of being, not behavior. So, and in that case, it has to be in the present. It has to be in simple tenses, not in continuous tenses for that.
I see. This is clear. For example, because there are examples, maybe I can confuse now our students, but there are examples, for example, when you, for example, I've been in Russia for 18 years.
Yeah.
I started 18 years ago and I'm still here. So by logic, it's present perfect continuous.
Yeah.
But I have to say it in present perfect. Because to be here, I'm using as a stative verb.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and
you can't say I've been being in Russia for 25 years. That doesn't make sense. So I've been being here. What you mean it was your behavior? So what are you talking? No, you're describing a state. So I've been here for 20 years. But you could easily say I've been living in Russia for 20.
Yes. In this case, yeah. Great. Thank you.
Exactly, because living in terms of where you reside, so that the house you are in, as in the house and accommodation you stay in, etc. In that sense, it is an action. So that's the difference. Well, let's have a look at some other examples. I've known, I've had, I've lived. This is the present perfect simple. So we've been into some detail about this before, but just go over it again. I've been learning, I've been waiting is the present perfect continuous. When we ask or say how long, the continuous is more usual. So you can see that in the last unit as well. So I've been learning English since January, because we're talking about for how long. It's been raining all morning. Richard has been doing the same job for 20 years. How long have you been driving? Since I was 17. Some verbs, for example, know and like, so we've been through this again, so stative verbs are not normally used in the continuous. How long have you known Jane? Not how long have you been knowing Jane? I've had these shoes for ages, not I've been having. So that's good, exactly. These verbs are called stative verbs. They describe a state, not an action. And so we can't use them in continuous tenses, or at least it's extremely rare. So the one exception is McDonald's advertising. So we'll carry on. You can use either the continuous or simple with live and work. So Julia has been living in this house for a long time, or Julia has lived. How long have you been working here, or how long have you worked here? Okay. Because living and working can be actions. They can be actions. They are actions. But we use the simple have lived with always. So don't say I've always been living in the country. So I've always lived in the country. And then the last examples, we say I haven't done something since or for. This is with the present perfect simple. So I haven't seen Tom since Monday. So Monday was the last time I saw him. Sarah hasn't phoned for ages. So that means the last time she phoned was ages ago. And this is, those are all the different examples.
Okay. There are some details even I didn't know. I would like to ask questions which will appear in heads of our students. So how long did you live in Portugal? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's remind again. What's the difference between when we say how long did you live in Portugal, and how long have you been?
Have you been in Portugal?
In Portugal.
So if I ask the question, how long have you been in Portugal? Then I'm assuming that the assumption is you are still there. So, and I'm asking for when the starting point was, the duration. Okay. If I ask, did you live, how long did you live in Portugal? Then that has to be in the past simple because it's over. You're no longer there. So if you use did you live, it's in the past simple. So it's a completed action, has no connection to the present.
I see. So past simple, it's the action finished, and in this example,
and no connection to the present, and no connection with the present.
I'm not in Portugal anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not in Portugal.
And now, finally, after so many years of studying English, I understand why present perfect, even it sounds in Russian as past, Why it is in group by your logic, of English-speaking people, but why you put present perfect into present tenses. Yeah, because I started in the past, yes, that action, but I'm still here in Portugal.
And that is the reason why we put it in the why it's a form of present tense. So it either has a result that has a direct impact on the present, or it starts in the past but continues to the present. So that's why it's a present. So it is an unfinished period of time. Okay, so if you think about this as an unfinished period of time, it's still ongoing. It is not completed.
I see. And in another example you gave me, why can't I say I have been always living in Russia, for example?
I've always been living in Russia. Honestly, I think it's because you're describing, because it's a very repetitive action, so it's a very repetitive action, and it's sort of always, it feels like a state, so that's what my intuition would say. So, as in, the only time you can really ever use always with any continuous tense is, as in a regular annoying habit that someone has, or a habit someone's recently picked up. Oh, he's always forgetting his keys. So, so it's like it's an emphatic marker there. But yeah, so my intuition would say, so I'm not 100% sure, but my intuition would say it's because it's generally, we use it in a way of describing a state, basically. So I've always in one place. I've always stayed.
I see. And another question in my mind, for example, I remember when I studied at school, teacher said that always it's present simple. So there, and here we use present perfect.
Yeah, always can, because always can be used in either of those tenses. So it can also be used in the future simple. You think about that old Whitney Houston song, "I Will Always Love You." So
true.
Because so it generally gets used in simple tenses though. So whether that's past simple, so I always went there as a child. So as in, or present simple, or as in the future simple can also be used in. But so it doesn't tend to get used with continuous tenses of any description. So with the exception of specifically an annoying repetitive habit that someone has, especially if they've recently picked it up. Oh, he's always forgetting his keys. She's always missing her flight. So as in, that's when it gets used with continuous tenses. But it's very much the same, really, that there are certain words that you can pick up in a sentence that give you a good idea about what tense is going to be used. So if I see the word since or for, then generally speaking, I've got a good idea that a perfect tense can be used with these of some description. So like the present perfect or the past perfect. So I have been waiting there for 4 hours until you came. So I've been here for ages. So I've been stuck outside. I've been stuck in my car for 6 hours. So it's you can see with certain words, certain function words that get used, that there's going to be it gives you a clue what you need to use.
I see. So it's clearer with every hour recording, those tenses.
That's
yes, so many details, guys. I would like to ask you how you practice your grammar, what tools you use. And we ask you, please always remember to like our videos if you like them. Even if you don't like them, somebody will find them useful. And so we do those videos to help people to help them with their grammar. I think that nowadays, if you have those lessons, YouTube lessons, our lessons, grammar lessons, and plus applications, so you don't need to spend time at lessons to study those things. So you can study yourselves, and just teachers you will need to finally practice speaking. So this is the aim of our videos. That is what is like them, and YouTube will see that they are useful, and will share it to a bigger amount of people. See you in our next episodes. Bye.
Bye-bye.